back in my geography class. I hope all of you are doing well. Today, we are going to start with another new chapter of class 5 and the name of the chapter is chapter 6, Greenland, the land of ice and snow. In this chapter, we are going to know about the location of Greenland, about its climate, vegetation and wildlife, about the people who live in Greenland and about agriculture and industries which are located in Greenland. So without wasting much of our time, let's get started and let's know about the land of ice and snow, the Greenland.
Hello. Hi. I'm Coco. May I know your name, my friend? I'm Seal. Where are you from, my friend? I'm from Greenland. Oh, Greenland. Where is it? Is it green in color as it seems from its name? I mean, it has lots of forest and trees. Yum! I would love to live in a green place with lots to munch. No, Greenland is not a country. It is a land of snow and ice. It is very cold here. Then why it is called Greenland? Who gave this name? Let me tell you about the explorer who gave the name Greenland. Enrich the Red was the first European who visited Greenland. He founded the first settlement in Greenland. He was a Norse explorer. What do you mean by explorer? Explorer means a person who explores new or unfamiliar area. So he was a Norse explorer from Iceland. Why did he give this name Greenland? He possibly gave the name Greenland to attract more people to settle there. Because when he explored Greenland, not too many people used to live in Greenland. So possibly to attract more people to settle down there, he gave the name Greenland. Let me give you a tour of my land. Here we go. Greenland is the largest island in the world. It is a landmass which is smaller than a continent that is surrounded by water, and that is why it is not called a continent. Rather, it is called the largest island in the world. It is located between the Arctic Ocean and the North Atlantic Ocean. So Greenland is located between two oceans, that is the Arctic Ocean and the North Atlantic Ocean. Now let us know that Greenland lies in which continent? Greenland is a part of the continent of North America. It is a self-governing, means autonomous province of Denmark. Now what do you mean by self-governing? In other words, it means that Greenland is a division of the country Denmark that has its own government. Though Greenland is a part of the continent North America, but it is a self-governing province of Denmark. The capital of Greenland is Nuuk, which was earlier known as Godthåb. So which is the capital of Greenland? The capital of Greenland is Nuuk, which was earlier known as Godthåb. Now let us know about the climate of Greenland. The Arctic Circle passes through the southern part of Greenland. Therefore, most of the Greenland lies in the frigid zone in the northern hemisphere. Now, what are frigid zones? Frigid zones are the areas between the Arctic Circle 66.5 degree north and the North Pole 90 degree north in the northern hemisphere, which is called the North Frigid Zone, and the areas between the Antarctic Circle, that is 66.5 degrees south, and the South Pole, that is 90 degrees south in the southern hemisphere, is called the South Frigid Zone. So we have two frigid zones. They are the North Frigid Zones, which lies in the northern hemisphere, and the South Frigid Zones, which lie in the southern hemisphere. So as the Arctic Circle passes through the southern part of Greenland, so we can say that the Greenland lies in the North Frigid Zone in the northern hemisphere. This region has a very cold climate. Why? Because here the sun does not rise much above the horizon, so the region cannot get ample amount of sunlight. Even in the warmest summer months, the average temperatures do not exceed 10 degrees Celsius. So you can well understand it is very cold here. This region is also known as the tundra region. Now, what do you mean by tundra? Tundra means cold or frozen landscape. This is a region where we hardly find any trees, means we can say that these are treeless or barren land. Do you know that 80% of Greenland is always covered with ice? So you can understand how cold and chilly it is, because 80% of Greenland, that means most of Greenland, is always covered with ice. Here we find huge pieces of ice which frequently break off and floats in the sea, and we call them as the icebergs. So what are icebergs? Icebergs are very large pieces of ice floating in the sea. Now when an iceberg floats on water, most of it remains underwater. They are much larger than they seem, so they pose great danger for the ships, because the ships can only see the upper part of the iceberg which floats on water, and most of it remains underwater, which possesses great danger for the ships. It can also lead to shrinking of the ships. Though most of the Greenland is covered with ice and it is very cold in this region, but the southwestern coast of Greenland is the warmest part of the country. So which is the warmest part of Greenland? The southwestern coast of Greenland is the warmest part of Greenland. Now let us know about the vegetation and wildlife of Greenland. Now, as we know that most of Greenland is covered with ice and the ground below the surface is permanently frozen, so nothing grows here. It is a treeless, barren land. There are no forests and no crops which can be grown here. So we can say that as most of the Greenland is covered with ice, so in most of the Greenland we hardly find forest and crops. So we can say that it is a treeless, barren land. But the warmest part of Greenland, that is the southern Greenland, here during the summer months, some plants can be grown like sedge, cotton grass, and lichen. So we can see that though most of the Greenland is covered with ice and it is a treeless, barren land and they don't have forests, they don't have crops, but in the warmest part of Greenland, that is a southern Greenland, during the summer months, we do find some plants like sedge, cotton grass, and lichen. Now talking about the wildlife of Greenland, in Greenland we only find those animals that can withstand the extreme cold. As we know that most of Greenland is covered with snow, so only those animals that can withstand the extreme cold are found here. And among them are the polar bear, reindeer, wolf, Arctic fox, and seal. Other than the wildlife, we can also find several varieties of fishes like salmon and seabirds like snowy owl here in Greenland. So what we can see that here in Greenland we only find those animals that can withstand the extreme cold of Greenland. And other than the wild animals, we also find several varieties of fishes and seabirds here in Greenland. Now comes the most interesting part. Let me tell you about the people of Greenland. The Greenlanders, or the Eskimos, were the original inhabitants of Greenland. Original inhabitants means the permanent resident of Greenland. So these are the people who resided in Greenland since time immemorial. So the Eskimos were the original inhabitants of Greenland. Now let us know that what is the literal meaning of the word Eskimos. The word Eskimos literally means the eaters of raw meat. The Eskimos nowadays are no more called as Eskimos, rather they are called as Inuits, because they do not like to be called as Eskimos, which literally means eaters of raw meat. So now the Eskimos are called as Inuits because they do not like themselves to be called as Eskimos, which literally means the eaters of raw meat. The Eskimos are mainly the hunters and live by fishing and hunting animals which are found in the region. Hunting of seals is a vital component of everyday life and culture of Greenland. So seal is a very important animal, and hunting of seal is a vital component of everyday life and culture of Greenland. The skin and fur of the animals, especially seal, are used to make clothes, and the fat is used as fuel. Now let us know about the past life of the Inuits. In the past, the Inuits were nomadic and they roamed throughout the year. So what do you mean by nomadic? Nomadic means the people who move from one place to another, and they do not have any settled life. They used to roam throughout the year. As the Inuits were nomads, so they do not have any permanent settlement or permanent houses to live in. They used to live in temporary houses made of blocks of ice called igloos. Now let us know more about igloos. What is an igloo? An igloo is a dome-shaped house made from blocks of snow placed on top of each other. So an igloo is a house which is made from blocks of snow placed on top of each other. They were used in winters as temporary shelters by the Inuits. So as Inuits do not have any permanent shelter, so during the winter months, they used to use igloo as temporary shelters. Whereas in the summer months, the Inuits used to move into the leather tents. So during the winters, the igloos were used as temporary shelters, whereas in the summer months, the Inuits used to move into leather tents. We have learned that the Inuits are mostly the hunters and the fishermen. They use tools such as harpoons, which is a long spear-like instrument for fishing, and bows to hunt the animals. So the tools such as harpoons and bows are used for fishing and to hunt the animals. The Inuits used boats called kayak for the purpose of fishing and also for the movement of people from one place to another. Now what is a kayak? A kayak is a narrow boat that is moved with a single paddle, flat at the ends, made up of seal skin. So kayak is a narrow boat which can be only used by one person at a time, and it is mainly made up of the seal skin. The kayak was not only used for the purpose of fishing and movement of people from one place to another, but it was also used for the purpose of recreation. The Inuits also used sledges pulled by dogs for the purpose of transportation. So, not only kayaks, but the Inuits also used sledges which were pulled by dogs for transportation, that means for the movement from one place to another. Now, let us know about the present life of the Inuits. Now, most of the Inuits lead a settled life. So we can say that the Inuits are no more nomads because most of the Inuits, they lead a settled life. They live in small villages or towns on the sea coast. So the small villages or towns on the sea coast are now inhabited by the Inuits who are now leading a settled life. The Inuits, they use motorized sledges for transport. So now they no more use the sledges pulled by dogs. Rather, they use motorized sledges for transport, and they use motor boats for fishing instead of kayaks. Now, instead of bows and arrows, they use guns for hunting. There are towns with modern facilities such as permanent houses, electricity, hospitals, schools, and the children of Greenland are getting the benefits of schools and hospitals, which has changed the life of the Inuits. Now, let us know about the clothes of the Inuits. The people of Greenland wear clothes made up of animal skin and fur. Men, women, and children wear jackets with hoods lined with fur called parkas. So what are parkas? Parkas are jackets with hoods lined with fur which are owned by the men, women, and children of Greenland. They also wear long boots made of seal skin which keep their feet warm in the snow. So the people of Greenland wear parkas and they also wear long boots to keep their feet warm in the snow. Now let us know about the population of Greenland. Today, Greenland has a mixed population mostly of Inuit and Europeans. Though Inuits were the original inhabitants, but as it was explored by Enrich the Red, who was an European explorer, so it led to the coming of many Europeans and settling down here in Greenland. And that is why Greenland has a mixed population mostly of Inuits and Europeans today. If we talk about the total population is only about 56,000, which is less than the population of even a small town in India. So we can see that the Greenland has a very less population, which is only about 56,000. Now almost the entire population lives on the southwestern coast, which makes this region the densely populated region, as because the southern part of the Greenland is the warmest part of Greenland. So we can see that almost the entire population lives on the southwestern coast. In terms of population, the capital Nuuk is the biggest town in Greenland, which has a population of about 15,500. And the second biggest town in terms of population is Sissimut, which was earlier known as Holstenborg, which has a population of about 5,500. So in terms of population, the biggest town is the capital Nuuk, and the second biggest town is Sissimut, which was earlier known as Holstenborg. Now let us know about the occupation of the Inuits. The main occupation of the Inuits are fishing and hunting. Fish processing is the main industry of Greenland. Here, frozen, canned, smoked, dried fish are the main products that are exported. So the economy of Greenland get boosted by the processing of fish, which is the major industry here in Greenland. Now let us know about the agriculture of Greenland. As we have learned that the southern Greenland is the warmest part. So in the southwestern coast, sheep are raised in small number. We will see that a very small part of the land in the southwest is also suitable for agriculture, and some vegetables such as potatoes are grown here. So what we can see that in the southwestern part of Greenland, we can find some agriculture, and we can also find sheep which are raised here in very small number. My dear friend, I hope you enjoyed knowing about my land, Greenland. Do come to visit me. Hope to meet you soon. Oh, wow! Really, it is the land of ice and snow. I would love to visit your land. I hope that all of you also loved to know about the beautiful land of ice and snow, the Greenland.
Now tell me, did you all enjoy knowing about Greenland and watching the beautiful land which is fully covered with ice and snow? Yes, I hope all of you enjoyed. So in today's video, we came to know about the location of Greenland, about its climate, vegetation, wildlife, the people, that means the Inuits, or we also call them as the Eskimos. And we also came to know about the agriculture and industries of Greenland. I hope all of you literally enjoyed watching the video and you got your concepts very clear. If still you have any queries or questions, do let me know by just commenting in the comment box given below. Don't forget to hit the like buttons, do subscribe my channel and share the videos with your friends. If you want to watch more videos, you need to subscribe my channel. That means you need to click on the bell icon. I will be back soon with the next video where we will get to know more about the land of ice and snow, that is Greenland. Till then, take care and stay safe. Thank you.